When you arrive at the ASIS, you'll be entering the superior psoas territory, and you'll need to change your entry to go more medially towards the spine. So now we'll go into and release the superior portion of the psoas, and you'll need to change your hand entry. We're going to go about an inch superior to the ASIS, and then move about an inch medially, because at this point the psoas dives posteriorly and medially. So we want to make sure that we're on soft tissue and not neurovascular structures. So keep feeling for that sense of soft tissue, and I'll show you how you can muscle test to make sure that you're on this upper section. This is an area that doesn't get worked often, and it really helps to free up the diaphragm and also to allow this portion of the psoas to release its grip on T12 and for us to find this more easeful, fluid, upright posture. So the best way to get in there is to have the leg in this position, abducted and externally rotated. And here's her ASIS, so I'll come up about an inch and then medially about an inch. This is her ASIS, and we want to come about an inch superior and then an inch medially. So we're going to do our muscle swimming technique to get through the abdominal muscles. And here's a word of caution, a note of caution, that you will not be able to directly palpate this upper portion of the psoas on most people. But you can get in the general area. You'll do some very beautiful fascial release work on the abdominals and into the diaphragm. And there are some people that you will absolutely be able to palpate it, but you don't want to force yourself in there because there are neurovascular structures that we could damage. So again, an inch superior, an inch medially, and here I'm going to spiral down, and I'm just going to rock her a little bit to release some of this superficial tissue as I dive under the rectus abdominis, very slowly making my way medially and posteriorly. So I have to go quite a bit in towards the center of the body and down towards the table. Take a nice deep breath, Tracy. Good. So on her exhale, I'll circle in a little bit more, feel where the tissue stops me, and then slowly making my way in. Now, if you feel a pulse underneath your fingers, that's a good sign to usually need to angle slightly differently. I just felt a pulse, so I'm going to rock her torso a little bit, and that's going to help me get in. Another deep breath. That's great, Tracy. As she exhales, I can come in. I'm starting to get towards, I'm starting to get closer to the superior section of the psoas. And right here, I'm going to start a breathing technique. I'm not quite there yet. I still feel that I'm running into the rectus abdominis muscle. So we're going to start a breathing technique that I find to be extremely effective for releasing this upper portion of the psoas. And I'll give Tracy the directions, and then once I give you the directions, Tracy, you'll just do it with. So the first part is a deep breath through the nose. The second part is an exhale through the mouth with some sound, and it will sound something like this. So go ahead, take a nice deep breath through the nose. I'll do it with you. Keep going, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. We're getting you to the point past where you think you have any more air left. That's it. That's good. Now take a deep breath and just a couple of normal breaths. That's great. So just that little bit of deep breathing with a forced exhale. We use the action of the diaphragm to help me get into the tissue a little bit more directly. All right, so just that bit of deep breathing, again, really helped to soften the tissue enough for me to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to have her do it again. So nice deep breath. And I allow her to push my hand out. That's fine. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. Good job, good job. And a big gulp of air. And just take normal breaths. So when she takes a normal breath, that's the time where you can go in a little bit more medially and a little bit more posterior. And right now I'm going to muscle test to see that I'm on the psoas. I'm not quite sure yet. I think I am, but I always want to make sure. A good way to do this is, Tracy, would you lift your upper body up? Yeah, okay. So this is a good test, because if you're on this superior portion of the psoas, you'll feel the psoas with your finger pads, and you'll feel the rectus abdominis with the top of your hands. So what I just felt was mostly rectus abdominis, so I still have a little ways to go to get into the psoas. So I'll make my entrance again. And again, this is something you don't want to push, maybe 3 different breaths, see how far you get, and you can always work on it again the next session with the client.